Hi and welcome. This is a reply to Notregme. Basically, I just wanted to give you a lot of kudos for the videos you've been making. There's been a lot of speculation, especially I'm referring to a lot of your World War III updates. Now, you have to forgive me. I haven't been I haven't had a lot of time to give you a bit of comments and feedback on what I thought and stuff that's been happening, but I had to, I'm taking a bit of time to, you know, um, make this quick video and try to factor in the stuff that you're saying in your World War III update and also the economic collapse videos. And it is very interesting what we're going through because a lot of the stuff you've been saying is very speculative, but that doesn't mean you're wrong. It's not because it hasn't happened yet means we should discard you. Far from it. It's the stuff you're bringing up is very interesting, and I kind of like to listen to you. And I know it's a bit of an extreme perspective in some ways, but it's realistic. It's a lot more realistic than people who just come out and say that nothing's happening. There's a lot of stuff's happening. There's an example. You've seen what happened the other day in Switzerland. They had this Ethiopian plane got hijacked by the pilot, and we learned that the Swiss Air Force is only available during their opening hours, 8 till noon and 1:30 till 5 p.m. I mean, you could not make this one up. And basically, what that means is, during out of these hours, you could have the French, the Spanish, the Italians invading Switzerland, and the Swiss Air Force wouldn't. They wouldn't be there. Can you imagine? I mean, can you imagine during a drill, and you'd see it coming, right? It's like you don't 45, and you'd have the pilots talking to themselves, saying, "Look, guys, we got to head back to base because it's lunchtime in 15 minutes." I mean, this is silly, right? But anyways, you laugh. We talk about the Ukraine, but what about Switzerland? I mean, wouldn't that be a case in point in light of like what we've just learned? So, what you said about Ukraine is very interesting. Yeah, there is a lot of destabilization, but you need to look. I mean, we need to look into it on a broader perspective, looking into the depression that Europe is going through. A lot of destabilization there as well. I mean, Spain is a mess. Italy is, it's in a political turmoil. Greece is far from fixed. I mean, Greece is dying. Portugal is, and France, where I come from, I mean, here is a no man's land. I mean, it's an economic no man's land. So, just to give you a bit of a, you just see it coming. I mean, this whole thing. I mean, Europe is becoming a powder keg, and no one is paying attention. Everyone's thinking it's going to happen in the Middle East or Asia with, China and Japan going at it over the Senkaku Islands, but no one so much even thinks it's going to flare up in Europe. And then, well, let me take you back 70 years ago. 70 years ago, we had the World War II. Well, about 70 years ago. So that just goes to show that Europe has has more potential for war than some of these other regions are have or well. So definitely like to hear. It would be nice if you did a video on Europe coming apart. Remember the Swiss? They did a drill last year where they simulated that France would, like the France would just implode under the economic collapse and therefore divide into independent regions, and one of them, Sonia, which is pretty much part of eastern France, would decide to go to war with Switzerland and invade them. And that's what the drills were about, trying to simulate how they would respond to an invasion from the so-called Sonia. So it will be interesting to see. I mean, I think there's something odd about this this prognosis here, because I think what it would. I mean, I understand what Switzerland is trying to do. They're pretty much planning for it. They know something's going to happen, so they need to prepare. They're a small country, but I think they're underestimating their neighbours. If if it does collapse as they plan it will, basically, I would definitely imagine that this country, I mean, first we would not, well, divide into regions. I think it will bring the French people even, closer together, thinking, okay, well, we got screwed by a bunch of bankers and elite governments and stuff, so we need to take the hit to them. So you'd see a revolution, but also the same will happen in Spain, Portugal, Greece, and other countries, Italy, and even other countries like the UK. So I think there's potential for like a new, Europe to emerge out of that. And to unite the people in the same common goal. So basically, Switzerland would not have to face one French region, but they would have to face a whole Europe, and that would be a different story altogether. That might bring in. I mean, you see it coming. You see that now we've got the pieces are set for a Eastern European bloc with Germany, Austria and others, facing a Western Mediterranean / British alliance of European countries that are, that have way too much debt and that are collapsing because because it's just services and property, housing that's propelling our economies. So it's not working. It's definitely not working. So it will be interesting to see how that unfolds. Whether we fall back on our all European warmongering instincts, and we start battling each other out, or whether we actually start standing united. But I wouldn't imagine it will be the same. I think there's going to be two Europes, and that's going to cause a real problem, because I think there's going to be a show of force between the twos if it does come to that. So something that in light of all your knowledge on world events, and also the military and what's been happening with regards to World War III, when its official kickoff is going to be, whether it's going to go with mushroom clouds everywhere, or whether it's not going to be a mushroom cloud. Actually, the weather's been kind of weird now. I don't know if you've noticed, but like Iran and Japan, they've been having a lot of snow recently. I mean, I don't mean to be conspiracy in here, but like with HARP and the technology we have today, what's the point of using regular weapons when you can pretty much control the weather? I mean, I think that's what it is. Can't prove it, but I think there's no such thing as a coincidence. Let's face it. I mean, England is under a lot. Is facing like their worst, what do you call it now? Floods in like 50 or 200 years. I don't remember, but it's big. It's really big. Here in France, we've been having a lot of torrential rains, but nothing like what they've been having on the other side of the channel. So can't compare. But I'm just saying, there's something really weird about the weather this year. Well, it's not this year, but like now it's like kind of intensifying. For now, we're going to leave it at that. If you can do some more video, if you could definitely, give us your insights on what could potentially happen to Europe, because I think this is a region that has been mostly overlooked in the whole World War III game plan or scenario, as it were. I think there's a lot of things that's going to happen to Europe, in Europe. Beside Ukraine, beside Yugoslavia, by the way. There you go. Yugoslavia is it's flaring up as well. Turkey is not part of Europe, but let's face it is a European nation in some respects. Turkey as well has been destabilized with their currency collapsing and their central banks having to raise interest rates to 15%. It's huge. Anyways, I look forward to your reply. Look forward to that little debate. See if there's anything else we can uncover, because I think there's so much going on anyways. But I'm just saying, like, in the grand scheme of things, there's bits and pieces. And about the bankers, these are not suicides. Otherwise, you'd see a lot more people jumping off buildings. I think there's, like you said, a good banker is a banker that shuts up, and to shut them up, well, what are you going to do? So, anyways, looking forward to your reply, and let's see what you think.